and today I'm going to be doing part 2 of this Adobe Illustrator series video. I'm so sorry that I haven't been uploading much. I've been busy and not knowing exactly what to upload, but regardless, I'm going to make this video for you guys. By the way, this is a tutorial file we were working in last time. I just drew this with the mirror on. But anyway, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 50 subs. We already got 31. I'm going to do a 30 subscriber special also. I just haven't been, I've been busy and stuff, but I will do one. So please make sure to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, guys, so the first thing we need to do is just delete this, alright? Because we don't need that getting in our way of stuff. And so the first tool I'm going to be talking about, panel, is the layers panel. Now, you can delete layers by scrolling to the left, and you'll find that it'll bring up this thing that looks like a text with a pencil, or T with a pencil, and then a trash. Now, the trash bin will simply delete that layer, but the T with the pencil will rename it, so we'll just call it garbage. And we'll draw a trash can. So first we just want to modify that. We'll turn that into fill, by the way, or stroke, so that we know. And then you can just draw this. I'm not trying to do good. I can do much better, but I'm just simply showing that this is garbage, okay? I'm purposely doing horrible. So anyway, we'll have our stupid garbage can, right? And let's say we need another layer, and let's call it color, okay? And simply, let's just delete this path in here. Alright, so in color, now what we need to do is color everything up, right? So first we're going to switch the color to, we'll switch it to green because it's garbage. Okay, darkish green. And then we'll go over here, turn it to stroke, and we will draw some green. And as you can see, it's not a big brush size, but I can increase that by pressing on the 8 and just increasing the size. And at first it's going to show like it's going over that layer, but since the color layer is below the garbage one, the garbage will just immediately come over that. So just color pretty messy on purpose because this is just a demonstration. And as you can see, we colored the garbage. We could do a lot more detail to this. I'm just saying the layers panels useful to add new layers. You can also modify the layers individually, so I can modify the garbage without modifying the I can do the icon or the path specifically without modifying the color or whatever. So I mean, yeah, guys, this was just a simple wacky demonstration just to show you how to use the layers panel. You can also add enough to call this scribble, or let's just call this bags, actually, and we'll just draw some big bags that are around the garbage. And as you can see, this is purposely a crappy demonstration, but I'm just showing you guys how to use the layers and stuff. You can subtract layers by, again, swiping it to the left, and it'll show a delete and a rename. But yeah, guys, this was just a simple wacky demonstration. I'm just going to select all of this with the select tool. And by the way, guys, if you didn't watch the first tutorial, please do that, because that would help you a lot if you didn't get the first tools down. But anyways, you can't delete the first layer, so we'll just rename this back to layer 1. And you can name it to whatever you want. Now anyway, that is the layers panel, simply simplified. So yeah, simply simplified. Let's get on to the properties panel. Now, the properties panel is to modify things, or to change simply properties of what you're modifying. So if I just do a rectangle and do something different, so rectangle, and you'll go to properties. You'll get all this stuff. Now, there's certain things that you can change. So, for example, the width and the height, you can lock them and unlock them by pressing that little lock. Now, what this will do is simply just make it so they're locked together. So if I change this to 800, it will automatically change the height to fit with that. Now, if I unlock them, which it comes like that by default, I can just turn this to 422, and it won't change the height because it's unlocked. Now, the X and Y coordinates, the lock doesn't work like that for these guys. There's no lock for them. So, I can just put it on 888 and it doesn't change the Y because there's no lock or unlock. So, you can simply just change these properties. Although I can't have 400 or 4,000 something. So, yeah. You can change rotation by simply just entering the amount of degrees that you want to rotate things. So if I want 45 degrees, I'll rotate my rectangle 45. I'll just move this back into the artboard. You can change the edge bevel, basically roundness of the edge. So if I change that to 7, that'll round the edges out slightly, as you can see. If you select the thing, you can go back to the properties. We can round that back out to 15. And what this will do is give us a real smooth outline right there. Now, that's pretty cool and all, but we still have more stuff. The next is fill. You can change the fill of a specific rectangle. And I like to change it here, but that changes all the colors when you start adding new things. So you can go to, it changes it over here as well, but when you add a new rectangle, you can always change it back to the color you had. Or if you had the hex code, you just copy the hex code or something. I don't think you can. Yeah, I mean, RGB sliders would be nice, but I'll just go with RGB sliders because that's basic. You can change the amount of red and stuff, but anyway, you can change the colors to whatever you want. We'll go back to the rectangle, the red rectangle though, and you can change the stroke color. Although I want to keep it black, but you can keep it, put it to whatever you like. I just want green for now. Actually, I don't want it black. Blend mode will simply be how it blends onto everything else. So if I put overlay, for example, and if I just take this rectangle and take it to a regular layer, for example, or whatever. Oh, okay, it's not a layer object. If we add a new layer and then add a rectangle, and then in the properties we change the blend mode to overlay, it'll overlay the red, the red will shine through or go through the black simply because it has the overlay blend mode. There's definitely different blend modes. I'm not going to go through all of them. Soft light is another one. There's a whole bunch. I'm not going to go through all those. You can request if you want me to go through all those in another video. Leave that in the comment below. Anyway, the next thing, I'm just going to change the blend mode back to normal. And we'll change the opacity or opacity. What this does, it changes how opaque the rectangle is. So if I want it barely opaque, barely visible, I can do a very low opacity. I call it opacity a lot, but it's opacity. It's pronounced opacity. So anyway, we can change this by number, so we can do 50%. Or you can use the slider. I like the slider thing better, but you can also change it through the numbers to get more accuracy that you want. So you can play around with that. Next is the stroke. Now, this does these two options right over here. Just does dash, and so when I go to direct selection, as you can see, instead of it being the dots or a straight line, for example, it's a dash, which now is that style line. So now you can see a stroke around the thing. It has nothing to do with direct selection, but let me just make the stroke bigger if I can. Hold up. Stroke size. Oh yeah, just drag your change. You can see how it's like basically looks kind of like a circuit chip or something. So you can play around with that, and I just like the line a lot, but you could do dash also, just to have a whole bunch of dashes if you like, or if that's the style you like. I'm gonna keep it at line for now, but for actually this tutorial, just to keep on what the changes we made, I'll keep it at dash. So this next stuff over here, oh wait, I forgot to go over the settings for the dash. You can do the dash how many it is, so I'm just gonna do 10. And that's how many dashes, hold up. Okay, 70 is how much, like how wide it is. I'm gonna do 30 for now, not 300, but 30. Oh shoot, 30. And I'm gonna do the gap. You can change the gap. My gap is gonna be 5, so that it's very little gap. You can adjust that stuff. Anyway, guys, that is the stroke dash settings. The regular line has no settings, but the dash does. Now the next stuff is some like kind of weird stuff. So it's basically how you want the direct selection to be modified or something. To make this example easier, I'm not going to use the rectangle anymore. I'm just going to use a blob brush. Okay, and basically, what this does now, if we select it, oh wait, it doesn't have that? Like okay, hold up. Alright, so it doesn't have that because that's a stroke. Let's make a new rectangle to make this easier, and we'll set everything back to normal for the most part. I mean, maybe black, stroke, opacity is full, black, black, and black. Alright, anyway, that's the best I could do. Anyway, this, now you can change the properties. So if we select the rectangle, it can change how selection is. So you can do the outer lines to scale it. So, oh shoot, what the? Oh, I changed the stroke width too hard. Anyway, you can change it so it's on the outline or inside the rectangle for modifying the size. I like the outline way better, but you can also do the inline of the stroke. So inside the stroke, you can change the width and height to change the width and height of the rectangle. You can play around with this, for example, these other things, but you could round out the edges by just selecting this rounded button over here, and as you can see, it rounded out that rectangle. So, yeah, that's the properties tab. That's everything you can change in the properties. And so, yeah, guys, I hope that was a good part for the properties, if you get properties. Anyway, I hope it makes sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't. But anyways, let's move on to the next panel, which is precision. Now, precision will allow you to do certain things. So let's just make some blob brush stuff. Let's just make a bad eye just for demonstration, okay? It's not the best eye I can do, but it's simply just an eye, right? So, and let's just draw a highlight and make it white. Alright, so as you can see, we have this little eye here, and we can set this as a guide. Now to do that, you just select everything you need to, and down here, this is not it's not a part of the precision tab, but anyway, we'll go to precision before we know how to make things guides. Guides are basically just for your drawing to guide you. Anyway, you can do grids to show grid in Adobe Illustrator. By the way, this is Adobe Illustrator so yeah, you can have the grid, you can have dotted or squares. I really like dotted because it doesn't look as like much as the grid. Now you can always change the subdivisions and spacing. So if I want spacing 100, I can make it 100. The subdivisions could be 3. You could change the amount of subdivision so the squares could be a little bit bigger. You can enable guides or disable guides. That does nothing right now because we don't have any guides, but I'll teach you how to set those. Snapping will snap things to the grid. So if we, for example, have the eye, it snaps to the grid lines instead of without snap to grid. You can freely move it much easier. And what it's doing right now, how it's unsteady, is just trying to align it in the middle or center. But it's still not snapping to the grid like it would if we had snap to grid on. You can disable snapping altogether, so there's no center things that's trying to give you to align it in the center. And I feel like that's useful sometimes. If you're just trying to place something somewhere, if you're just trying to place something somewhere without having any problems with the precision, you can do that. Smart guides, disabling smart guides technically just gets rid of the point of snapping, because smart guides, if you have smart guides on, that's what tries to align things in the middle or center of your artboard. If you disable smart guides, you might as well just disable snapping. Or disable smart guides, you might as well just disable snapping, because that's gonna get rid of everything altogether. Unless you're using snap to grid, but not smart guides. Unless you're doing that, then if you have both of those unchecked, just disable snapping because it's unnecessary. And so, I mean, yeah, guys, that's really the precision tab. Now, with the guides, let me just show you something real quick. If we just select, let's delete layer 2 because we don't need that. If we just select this and go down, and we will, hold on, guys. Hold on, I can't, let me cut the video right here until I find it. Alright, guys, I figured out what you have to do. First thing you do to make things, guys, is you have to group it together so that it's all grouped. Then you can make a compound path, or you could already do that. You can ungroup it, or you could convert it to a guide. Or you could convert to a guide. So if we convert to guide, now what this will do is if we go to the precision tab and press on guides, it simply shows the guide that you have, and guides are transparent kind of, so they don't show the detail like color. But if we go back to the brush, we can color that in for now. I'm not making as good of an example, but hold up. I'll try a little bit harder this time. So yeah, we can just fill in the eye like that, and then we'll do a different color, which can be black, for a highlight, I guess. I don't know, it's simply just a simple thing for the tutorial. You can also delete the guide altogether by just selecting it with the selection tool. You could also just go to the layers and get rid of the compound path and this thing, and don't get rid of the group, otherwise that'll get rid of your guide. That's how with the selection tool we were able to just delete the guide. So yeah, guys, that's with the guides. Now let's move on to the next panel, which is going to be combine shapes. Now what this does is you simply just, let's say we have rectangle, and then we go, and then we go to circle, and then we go to triangle and triangle. Now you have this weird outline of shape, and if we go to the combine shapes tab, we have to select everything we want to combine, and then we can go to the shape builder, which is the first thing I'm going to mention. Now what this does is it simply just can get rid of all the inner junk that you don't need. You can just cut a line through what you don't want, so that or just tap on the stuff you don't need so that you can get rid of it. So like all the outlines and stuff on the inside or whatever, you can get rid of all of that. It's really easy, but sometimes it can be hard when you're trying to get like really small spaces. So you just zoom in and draw through it. But yeah, guys, the shape builder is just to get rid of all these extra inner outlines. If you just need, or inlines, if you just need an outline, then you can press done with the shape builder, and you got rid of all those lines and stuff. Now I'm gonna undo everything I did because I want to show you guys something else with the combined shapes tab. Now with the combined shapes, you can also, what you can do, there's multiple presets. So there's minus front, which you'll do is basically just subtract everything but to the front, so that it'll give you, that's how it gave me this weird rectangle over here. But if we just undo and then we go back to combined shapes and we hit intersect, that'll simply just intersect everything together, but it won't get rid of those weird outlines that we could do with the shape builder. So let me just undo that. With combined shapes, you can also do exclude overlap. Now this does, it basically, all the overlaps that everything's over going over each other, it shows you the preview of what it would look like before you press it. Or if you want to press it, but basically this is just everything that's overlapping each other will simply just disappear, or the parts that are overlapping will disappear, so that's why it just looks so broke. So now we can do divide all. What this does, it just divides everything. I don't really know exactly everything it does, but you can also group things together in this. Oh, it's already grouped. But you can convert it to path. It would just first have to be, all of it would have to be grouped together. So if we just use this thingy, this circle thingy, or whatever. Oh, wait, that's what, never mind. Anyway, guys, that's what the combined shapes tab is. I'm sorry if it didn't make sense. I didn't explain it that well, in my opinion, but I hope it makes sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Let me just turn that grid off. Alright. So you have a clean artboard now and everything. Alright, guys. So the next thing is the edit tab. Now simply, you can make really kind of whatever you want. Let's just do some little lines over here. And we'll go to the edit tab, but we have to select what we want to edit. So if we want to edit one individual thing, and we can cut it. So we can cut the object completely. We can copy it. You can paste it so that you can just move the object, which is simply just like duplicating. Duplicating is just quicker. But also copy and pasting, you can paste things in specific areas. Anyway, we can copy appearance, which that does is that copies the appearance of the stuff. And now we can go into the edit of another object and paste appearance. So we can paste the appearance somewhere. Hold up. Let's see here. If we select edit and go to paste appearance and fill color, paste. I don't know where the thing is going. Oh, okay, never mind. It's just simply going on top of itself every time you do that. So yeah, that's basically what the edit tab does. You can cut things out to say, oh my god, that's so much. You just press the scissor thing and it'll cut everything, and we only need this one line, but we'll just delete that too. But yeah, the edit tab is really not that much. You can simply it's just easier to like duplicate things about copying and pasting. I mean, you could do copy and paste. I like to duplicate. I actually don't need to use that much though anyway, so it's perfectly fine for me. But if you use an Illustrator, you can do what you want. It's your Illustrator on your iPad. So yeah, guys, the next tab we're going to be going to is align, distribute, and flip, or the next panel. Now, this, you can align specific things. So if we just have a brush, right, and we go into align, well, you have to select what we want to align, right? As always with any panel, you have to select what you want to do. Now, you can flip it, which flips the appearance horizontally. by pressing this button. You can also flip it vertically, but it's technically the same thing as flipping horizontally in this brush selection I made. Now, if I do scribbles just to make it a little bit easier to know, we select all of that and go to the flip. You can see that's actually flipping the appearance. Flipping vertically does something different than horizontal. It's just that specific stroke I did earlier is what made things look like the same, but now you can see that they're completely different. So yeah, you can let's just select this all again, and we can go to align things to the side, the middle, the complete middle, because there's horizontal middle and vertical middle. So if we go over here, this is vertical middle right here, this is horizontal middle, but we're already at that. So anyway, you can align it with the top, you can align it with the bottom, you can really align it anything. You can play around with this to see what you like and how you like it. I don't know how to get to this distribute thing, but let's see if I can group this together and see if that works. Okay, so let's group that together, okay, and let's see if that works. No, it doesn't. So I don't know how to get to the distribute thing. I don't know what it does either, but you guys can figure that out, I'm sure. I'm sorry that I don't know how to use that or do that, so yeah. Okay, so the next panel is the object panel, which we already know for the most part by previous things. So if we make some lines, go to the object panel. You can group things together to make it a group so that it actually has the stuff in it. Oh, and let me just delete, let me just add a new layer and then delete layer 1. Alright, so now we don't have a mess in the layer tab. So let's just make these lines, select them, and go into the object panel. Now we can group things together, and as you can see, we have in layer 2 a group of the paths and stuff that we want, or that we have. So we have that and stuff. We can just go to the object panel. We can ungroup things so that it's just paths now. But I'm going to group it together for organization, as you may want. Now, ungrouping it would allow you to make clipping masks and stuff. So, for example, if I draw with a brush on the same layer, actually, and I'll just make a different color. Let's just make this red, okay? And simply just draw these lines through it. And let's say we wanted to make this a clipping mask. So we go to object thing, right? We go to the object. And by the way, hold this circle thingy to multiple select things. So go to the object thing, and you can make a clipping mask. And now what this will do is basically will clip to things, if that makes sense. It's kind of like Photoshop clipping mask, but it's a little different. I don't know. Wait, hold up, because I expected it to be more like Photoshop. Let's see if we can go here and and you can select one thing and convert it to guide, and you know what we did earlier. You can make it a compound path, but it's one thing, so like there's no need. But just multi-select, and hold up, let's see what this does real quick. You can also shift or multiple deselect things with this circle thingy. Anyway, we'll go back to the object panel. Let's make that a clipping mask. What does this do? I don't know exactly what it does, so this is like really weird. I mean, you can release clipping mask. I don't really know how the clipping mask works. I'm sure you can figure that out. I'm sorry. Just look up on YouTube how to use clipping mask and Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. By the way, we're trying to get 50 subs. Please make sure to subscribe. Anyway, that's the object panel for the most part. I showed you how to convert to guide. I know you making compound path is simply just making two things into a compound path. So if we select go to object mode or the object panel, you can see that's just a compound path. As you can see, if you go to layers, it says compound path right there. Now, anyways, let's get on to the next panel, which is going to be the type panel. Now, simply, this is just for typing text and stuff or whatever. It's nothing, crazy. Simply, if you use the text tool, which I went in part 1, by the way, make sure to watch part 1 if you haven't already. Go to this keyboard and we'll type, we'll just leave it at lorem ipsum for now, actually, okay? And what this will do now, if we go to the type thing, you'll see outline text, which will give you the direct selection, so you can edit the things the way you want, whatever. Lorem ipsum, and we'll have like a squashed E, and then if we just go to type, hold up. Okay, this is weird. Well, we can just go to direct selection and make some changes. But oh wait, what pasted? Anyway, the type thing will simply use for typing and stuff. However, let's make some new text just so we can outline text or whatever. And for some reason you can't do it again, so let's. Anyway, let's go and delete that and make a new one. Now you can make it so you can type on path. So for example, let's say I made this big path, right? And I go over here and select both the path and the text. Wait, hold on. Alright, so if I select the text and then I select that too, or wait, hold up. Say I do that and then the text tool. Oh, well, I just keep making more text. That's the problem. Alright, anyway, go to selection. You have that text, and then you can simply just go here. Outline pathway. So, oh god. Okay, so we simply select the. I don't know how to do type on path. I know I've done it before, but I guess it's like you could figure that out. I'm sorry. I really have done it before, but I don't know. Like, I don't remember how. Anyway, it's something to do with selecting a path or whatever, and then getting the text on it and making it type on path, something like that. Anyway, this next panel is a path panel. This is for direct selection, so if we just make the brush, simply direct selection, it gives you this panel here, which is giving you the path panel, which is, I went in the part 1 of the video for this, because this is the same panel, in direct selection over here, just that pops up under whatever you're selecting. So I'm not going to go on the path panel, I'm just going to go to repeat panel. Now, this is for repeating what you've done on one side. So let's say I made these cool lines, right? And I slide them over, and I go to repeat. Now, you have to have selected, as always, what you want. So grid, what this does, it just makes a full grid of what you have. And that can be useful if you just want to duplicate things a lot of times and make a good dynamic image. But anyway, we're not going to do that, but that's what you can do. You can adjust the grid, actually, so let's go back to grid. You can adjust, like, how much they overlap each other and whatever. It looks really weird. You can do it on the horizontal and vertical. You can spread it out, kind of. But, yeah, you can adjust it. I'm not going to go over the grid entirely, so I'm just going to undo all that. So we can go to mirror. Now this will use mirror what we did. So basically you can do this and you can do this. They can they'll overlap and just close in on each other because it's clipping together. You can't change. I don't think you can change if it's clipping together or not. But anyway, you can make it so it's a mirror so that you can do things on one side and it'll get done on the other side. And I actually find this pretty useful, even though I don't use it a lot. It can help. So, I mean, yeah, guys, you're always supposed to, wait, what the, so, like, yeah, guys, thank you for watching. This is the end of the video over here. There is the radial thing, though, real quick, which is right here. If we go into make a pen, oh, not a pen, a blob brush, and we'll go and select the brush thing, and radial will simply just repeat the thing radially of how much it's repeating on like a circle. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the video here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. I'm sorry that it's long. I didn't mean for it to get this long, but these videos get long anyway. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. We're trying to get 50 subs, and I will see you guys next time.